Hey, what's up, universe? It's 12:03 p.m. on Thursday, June 15th, 2023. I was making lunch and I was writing my intentions because the new moon is on June 17th, so it's coming up here pretty quick. I believe it's June 17th. And the intention that I was about to write was around my artistic expression and just inviting in and welcoming in and accepting in like avenues of having that being appreciated and just ways to express myself. And all I had started on that intention was I am. That's it. I am. And then the phone starts ringing, and it is it's the partnership that the partner at Grace Space is the company that I'm doing a consulting work for. And so basically the owner or one of the co-founders, the guy that I've been in contact with, right, through this whole process, he's onboarding me. And anyway, he's like, hey, we just signed on like 2 new clients. Just want to make sure you saw the email from this morning. And I just want to walk through with a couple of things with you on that, because one of the clients, you're going to own 1 or 2 pieces of the scope of work. On this other client, you'll be pretty much the person. And so he's like, sorry, it's taken a little bit to kind of, ramp you up a little. But I'm excited to get these, on your plate and get these clients, get work done for them. And I'm like, awesome. And so that's very cool. So I just wanted to put that out there. That's super quick, because it's just like that. Things like, again, it goes back to the whole limiting the limited. I never know what may come up and from where, ever. And so part of that opening up, part of the energetic stretch, the reason I do this is to open myself up so that I can receive those things that my mind would have otherwise been like, no, it's not even a possibility, right? You know what I mean? So I'm like, nope, like let's just do this and be open. And the other thing I meant to mention too in my previous video is that even though I'm scared every time I do these ordeals or go through these ordeals, I have learned to become more comfortable being uncomfortable. I have learned to relate to my fear differently. It's not that I'm fearless. It's just that I have learned to be present with my fear and to have a different relationship. What am I bringing back to fear? What am I bringing back to that experience of the unknown? Fear is definitely present. It's totally a resource I could employ to build my now. And I have. Oh, I have. And it happens every time. I learned to remove fear from my experience. That's part of the process. Like, the fear is there. And I just learned to remove more and more of it from my life experience. Because ultimately, like, if I look out into the world, into nature, there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. It's all cyclical. It's all a balance, And this is the other thing too, I was thinking about, but it was more in the context of like AI and like robotics and things like that, and just like our it's a whole different topic. But there's a book called Ishmael by Daniel Quinn. It's a very, very good book. And one of the pieces of imagery that I remember from that book is basically, goes into the whole balance part, where the king of the jungle may be the king of the jungle. That doesn't mean he eats every day. The gazelle wins sometimes. The gazelle gets away. And sometimes the king of the jungle goes hungry. Yet he still remains the king, right? So it's the idea of symbiosis, symbiotic relationships. Like, it all comes together. So that for me is part of like that law of attraction part. What I put out there, the vibration that I have, the things that I bring back to all of my relationships, the resources that I use to build my now, the frequencies that I put out, like, even though I'm not getting it all of the time, like, you know, in big, like, how do I want to say, in big, obvious ways, the support for my life has always been present. I'm always getting something, you know, I'm always being supported. Right? Even though that the king of the jungle didn't eat that day, he's not immediately dead. Like, he still has his status, right? He still has his den. He still has all of the things that he had. His belly is just a little empty, you know? That'll be fine. He'll get fed again. So it's just about, is the lion afraid that he didn't eat that day? He's probably not necessarily afraid. He might be more disappointed. You know, I don't know, but like, I'm just saying, right? Like, what is the lion's relationship to that? That's the question. I really don't know, but like, that's the curious thing. How is this phenomenon handled in nature, right? And not to say that animals don't experience fear, you know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, there's still usually though, when it's in fear, I think, is when they feel like their life's in danger. And so for me, as I'm going through these types of ordeals, I'm like, well, I'm not going to die, right? Like, okay, so let me figure out how I can change and relate to this experience in a way that doesn't have all of this fear, because fear is not a resource that's going to do me any good in this context. Since it's not a life-threatening context, the fear is like, it just gets in my way. And I just work on removing that. And that's a process. That's definitely unlearning stuff. Huge. And so it's not easy. It's just part of the work that I do. That's just for my own journey. That's how I approach it. So anyway, thank you again for being with me. Thank you again for providing me some time and space. And yeah, thanks for being with me. All right, I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.